Hello, I'm David Rann, I'm a photographer. I specialise in people photography, everything from boxing to portraits to fashion and beauty. I was one of the co-founders of the Birmingham Instagram group, along with Nettie Edwards. Nettie Edwards was the tutor on the very first iphoneography course in the UK, and from that point on I started leaving the DSLR at home a little bit more. But it's not. But that's only on here. It might not necessarily look like that when you're looking at it properly. That's not. I mean, there really is lovely clear images. And they look like they're a little bit sort of artificially sharpened. They've got that kind of look about them.
Yeah.
But they're nice.
What are you looking for in HDR?
It will be really hyper vivid, and you'll get detail in the shadows and in the highlight areas.
Yeah.
Which it's got, but it hasn't got that sort of. A true HDR's got a really kind of almost like an artist illustration kind of look about it, which this doesn't have, but it does. It is extremely detailed. There's no doubt about it. Potentially quite a nasty situation for most cameras, because you've got backlight coming through those windows and this bit's fairly dark. But as it is, this is handling it quite nicely. The contrast isn't fooling the camera too much. So we've got detail in the shadow areas and we've still got detail in the highlight areas. So that's pretty nice. That's looking pretty good, actually. I'm quite impressed with that. So let's see what this will do with when you're actually right against the window, so you've got a real backlight situation. So at the moment, that's a little bit overexposed, a bit too light. So I'm going to take the shutter speeds up a fraction. Play around with the angle a bit if I want to. Actually, I'm going to tilt that a bit more. Different tones. I've actually got the tones pretty good, to be fair. I'm not going to lighten it or darken it. I might just reduce the colour saturation a tiny bit. And the rest of it's pretty much okay, so I'm going to leave that there. And then advanced, I've got my tone curve. Again, I'm not going to bother with that, I don't think. Different effects. So here are all the different sort of Instagram-y type of filters for it. And some of these are really quite nice, actually. In fact, I think I like that one so far, Blossom. Also, we've got all these other things, soften the face and things like that. I'm not going to do that because the face is actually quite small in the frame anyway, so that's going to make a great deal of difference. Decoration, these are all your little sort of bells and whistles that kids might like, but not a huge amount of interest to me. Get my eyes on that upper third there, and there we are. There's a lot of things I like about this. It is a huge, lovely, clear screen, and I think it's generally very intuitive. The quality of the images produced are really nice. The controls are easy to find, and it has a lot of other things that a DSLR user would find familiar. I think it'd be interesting to see how this stands up in some real tests, so things like sport and things like that. But but certainly for general use, it's probably the nicest phone camera that I've used. Lovely crisp images. Lots of bells and whistles I would never use, but I think will sort of gimmicky stuff that the kids and things would no doubt like. But I think there's something here for everybody, really. Everything from the HDR that people like through to the little editing package that comes with it is really nice as well. There seems to be a lot of things on there which will do everything you need it to do. Ordinarily, I'd probably do some of these things in a separate app, but it seems to have everything I would probably need, all the sort of cropping and colourisation and tonal adjustments that I would normally do in a separate app, you can do on here now, so you wouldn't necessarily need some of the other apps that I would generally use. So all in all, it seems to be a pretty comprehensive little bit of kit.